Question: do you ever feel like you don't finish the things you set out to do? Well, I feel that way a lot of the times. And this is something I struggled with for the longest time, where I would try to start things and it wouldn't last. Or it wouldn't last as long, like it would last for a little bit, and I gotten better at this, I guess, but it's still something I struggle with. And the reason I want to talk about this today is because I made a commitment a few days ago that I was going to shoot a video every single day. And the reason I want to do that is just to keep up the momentum and keep getting better at making videos and putting myself in a headspace where I'm going to make a video no matter what. And this is just for myself, and I want to get better at creating content, and I have all sorts of reasons to do it, but I committed to doing that. And the thing is, today, I almost didn't shoot. We were out working, it's like 2 in the morning right now, we just came back from work, and it's been a crazy long day. A lot of our work is also shooting videos, so there's been a lot of shooting videos, a lot of walking around, hustling in the hot sun, that kind of stuff. And so, I came back and I was like, I just really want to pass out. We didn't have dinner, so I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I was like, I should just pass out right now. On top of that, it's raining all the shit. But then I remembered, I was like, I committed to making a video every day, so I'm going to do it. So that's why I'm out here now making this video. Now, a couple things about this. I think it's important to understand that, when you commit to something, you should do your best to actually keep at it, but also understand that everything, because things are not about the things themselves, it's also about the context that surrounds them. So for example, for me committing to do this, this video blog, it's not just about the video blog, but it's also about commitment, right? Commitment is the thing that is the framework, so to speak. So by doing this video blog, I'm not just getting better at vlogging, my commitment is also getting better. I'm getting better at committing. Does that make sense? So every time I commit to something new, I might not always see the whole way through, but I'm building that skill set of actually following through and finishing things. Because I'm a person that I like to start things. I take action very quickly. There's a thing called the PACE energies, PASE, practical, action, social, emotional, and there are 4 different, not personality types, but different sides of you, and different sides of people, and we all have all 4 of those. It's just a framework, so there are a million ways we could look at it, but it's a framework, and those are 4 sides of our personalities, and basically we all have certain sides of us are stronger and then certain are weaker. And so for me, I'm a very action-oriented person, so when I want to do something, I just start doing it. I'm like, okay, let's go do it, let's take action right now. That's how I'm wired, and it's how I think. But the downside, a con of action-oriented people is that sometimes they don't finish things. So that's me. I start things, I'm on fire, but then I don't always follow through. And for me, what I think is important is that, I have to realize that not following through, not finishing things, not, staying on the same path, not, how do you say, what's that? What is the verb to express that you're hanging on to a commitment, that I'll follow through with a commitment? You have to understand that having that happen, I just repeated the same thing 5 times. Anyways, you have to understand that having that happen is a part of the journey. There's some times I'm going to commit and it's not going to happen. I don't want to use it as an excuse. I think there's a distinction to make. I can't articulate. There's a distinction to make between between understanding that something is a part of the journey and making it an excuse not to do something. So for me, I have to understand that, it's part of my journey that sometimes I'm not going to follow through. But at the same time, I never want to make an excuse to tell myself, oh, it's just part of the journey that I'm not following through, so it's okay. I don't want to make that an excuse. And finally, I want to understand that by thinking like that and by understanding commitment, this is the same thing with willpower, building habits, any sort of thing that's related to your lifestyle, right? For example, any area that even improving, growing, and this whole idea that every day you're going to become better, every day I'm going to move towards my goals. That is an idea that, you'll be on it for a little while and then you'll fall off it, and then you'll want to be lazy again, revert to your default self, revert to, what you grew up with, what you were before you embarked on this journey, and be like, I'm going to be lazy, I'm going to watch TV. There's nothing wrong with watching TV and being lazy. You know, it just depends what outcome you want. You know, if you want to achieve something, then you have to put in the work, right? To the degree that a certain goal demands. So, you know, it's all up to you. But the point is, if you do decide to get on that journey where you're constantly growing, I think the rain stopped so I can walk out here. You know, if you do decide to be a part of that journey where you're growing, then you should understand that growth doesn't happen like this. It happens like this. You know, sometimes you're growing and then you fall out of it, and then you go again, and then you get out of it, and then you go again, and then you get out of it. It's just a part of the journey. You know, sometimes you just feel lazy, and you're just gonna be lazy for a whole week, or a whole month, or, you know, whatever it is. And although that's not good, you know, because I used to massively beat myself up for that. I would be like, Ryuji, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck back on. You're never gonna achieve your goals. You're a piece of shit. And all this kind of like negative self-talk. Now that's not good. It's not healthy. It's healthy to a degree where you tell yourself very realistically, you're like, okay, these are the areas in which I have to improve. You know, you tell yourself, it's not good. It's not good that I'm slacking off. It's not good that I'm being lazy, but don't beat yourself up for it. Rather, what I try to do now is that when I see that happening, I recognize it. I'm very honest with myself. I'm self-aware, and I'm like, okay, this is not good. I gotta mitigate this. I gotta stop this. I gotta turn this around. And then I turn it around, and I try not to beat myself up for it, because beating yourself up is never really productive. It only brings you slower, makes you slower. But in any case, you know, just realize that it's a part of the journey, that you don't always want to do things. You don't always, like, you're not always going to be driven. Motivation is not infinite. Maybe it is, I don't know. I haven't found that yet. So for me, I found that, you know, sometimes I'm motivated, sometimes I'm driven, sometimes I'm not. And sometimes I just really want to be lazy. And I understand that it's part of the journey, so I just let it happen. I try my best to get out of it, but, you know, at the same time, I understand that it happens. And the thing is, when that happens, I think it's important to have processes to get out of it. You know, it's not just enough to be like, yeah, you know, I'm just gonna try my best to get out of it, because here's the thing. It's really easy to work hard when you're really motivated. It's really easy, you know, when you're driven, you're passionate, you feel it in your body that I just want to get shit done. I just want to pursue my passion, pursue my goals. I just want to do all this stuff. When you feel like that, it's awesome. But when you feel the opposite, when you feel lazy, when you don't feel like doing these things, when you feel like just staying at home, watching TV, going on Netflix, you know, for me, it's like I love to watch anime, you know, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with these things. Again, it's just that it depends. You have to think about whether those things are in line with the goals that you have for your life, you know. But for me, when that happens, I want to have certain processes that are there that I can use to get myself out of them very proactively. So for example, one major thing that I think, you know, helps me personally get out of it is to put myself around the right people. I want to surround myself with people who are crushing it, people who are motivated, people who are pursuing their own thing. Because I think it was Jim Rohn that said, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with and the books you read. You know, and for me, I found in my life that that's literally true. I become like the people that I'm around. So if I want to be like a type of person, I'm going to try to put myself around that type of people, that type of environment. So for me, I want to put myself around different people who are really driven, who are into self-improvement, personal development, and trying to become their best selves. I want to put myself around people who live a really healthy lifestyle. You know, people who I think are really successful socially, or you know whatever it is I'm trying to achieve at that time. I'm going to try to put myself around people, and put myself around people who are, most importantly, not just the thing itself, but the framework. So people who are very passionate, people who are very driven, and people who are very action oriented. And when I put myself around these people, what I find is that I'm driven to like elevate myself to that level. I'm driven to be like, I want to do that too. I don't want it to be just them. I want to live that too, because it looks so awesome. Because the best joys, the craziest, you know, the happiest I've ever been is when I was really engaged. When I was like engaged with life, pursuing something, being on a path, you know, that was so meaningful to me at the time. And when I'm really immersed in that, you know, from the outside, it might look like a lot of hard work. And you're like, why don't you just relax? You know, relaxing is great. But for me, I found that the joys in the engagement, the joys in hustling, the joys in getting all this shit done and moving forward, that's what I love. And that's what I crave. But it's so easy to forget that when you're in that mode where you just want to lie around, do nothing. And the craziest thing is, it'll feel like you're happy. To me, when I'm in a mode where, I just want to watch TV, I just want to watch anime and lie in bed, and I do it for a little while, I feel like it's making me happy. And I'm sure to a degree it does. And ultimately what I think it comes down to is where you are drawing your emotions from. In life, you want to be drawing your emotions from within yourself. You want to be the provider of good emotions. In a social situation, you want to be the person who's bringing the energy. You want to be the person who's bringing the positivity, bringing the fun. You don't want to ping off other people. It's great to ping off other people too. You want to vibe, but you don't want to be at the mercy of that. Have you ever had it where one person who's like super cool to hang out with and you love to hang out with them? Everyone loves to hang out with them. And you tell yourself, well, if I hang out with that person, it's fun, but if I hang out with this other person, it's not fun. Well, have you ever thought that maybe instead of being like, I want to hang out with that person because that person's so cool, you could become that person, and now people want to hang out with you instead. Now, I'm not claiming that I'm there. I'm not there at all. I'm working hard on it, but I'm not there by any means. But the thing is, you can tell yourself, why can't I be that person? And fundamentally what that person is doing, because think about this. For you to have fun, you might have to hang out with that person. But for them to have fun, they just have to hang out with themselves. It doesn't matter who they're hanging out with. They're bringing the party. So for them, they have fun anyways. They're drawing their own good emotions from within themselves. And in life, when you're really engaged, you learn to do that, because to accomplish big things, to be in a mode where you're hustling, working hard, getting shit done, you have to draw your own good emotions from within yourself. You be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, fuck yeah, let's do it, this is awesome, boom, right? This is how it happens. But when you're in that lazy mode where you just wanna lie around, for me when I wanna watch anime, basically what's happening is that I don't wanna draw my own good emotions from within myself, so I wanna draw them from watching anime, from all this external stuff, external validation, external stimulus, entertainment, whatever it is, and it's kind of an escape. But at the same time, it does bring you happiness because you are drawing emotions from outside yourself. But it's not as good as drawing emotions from within yourself, and then you don't need all this external stuff. It's nice, you can enjoy it, but you don't feel like that's what's gonna bring you happiness. Anyways, I ranted for a bit here. Hope you enjoyed this. This is something I'm really, really passionate about. And again, hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for checking this out. If you're still here, I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoy this content, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. In any case, I'll see you next time. Peace.